This is JFF, Jamaica Center Back, and you're watching Eddie Vision TV. Like, subscribe, comment, support the page below.
Viewers and subscribers, welcome back to Eddie Vision TV, the channel where we look at sports differently. I'm your host, Eddie Guna. So, Ravel Morrison. If Ravel is called up, where should he play? And yes, people going to say, yes, Eddie he's going to play in the midfield. But where? Do we need Ravel deep in the midfield, or do we need a Ravel Morrison much higher, supporting the strikers and wingers? Alright, we're going to break it down and we'll come to some form of conclusion in this video. But before I get into the video, please subscribe if you're new, smash that like button, share the video. Alright, so we're going to look at two case studies, and the first one would be Ravel's game against Suriname at home, Kingston, Jamaica. And I think this is Ravel's best game in a Jamaican shirt. Yes, the opposition was not the greatest, but it was a must-win game for us. After playing down in Suriname, getting a draw, and we all know what took place there with the hierarchy and all of that, and the players sticking up the hierarchy, and we don't want to go back to all of that. But it was some very tedious times, right? So Ravel against Suriname, his numbers: 1 goal, 1 assist, and we got the victory, of course. 41 touches, 78% passing, 2 key passes, 2 shots off target, 1 interception. So brilliant game from the maestro. I love the fact that he took shots. 2 shots off target is always good, especially the 2 key passes. Brilliant performance from Ravel in that game. You know what I mean? And if you look at the heat map, look at this heat map, people. A lot of his play is in the final third. This is what we want to see going forward. Not in his own half, passing the ball around, come and pick up the ball off the centre backs. We don't want to see Ravel that deep. The majority of his touches should be in the other half. And we saw this 8.2 score from SofaScore. He got the highest score, or the highest rating for any reggae boy in that game. So that shows how dominant Ravel Morrison was in that game. If you look at the lineup, we look to play a 4-4-2, but Ravel was further up, closer to the strikers, Jamal Lowe and Shamar Nicholson, and with the 2 behind in Kevin Lambert and Speedy Williams, 2 really defensive type of players, that don't look to really go forward. So he had that protection behind him, and we saw where Ravel really excelled in this game. On the flip side, against Mexico, in Mexico, and this was the 2-2 draw away to Mexico in the Nations League. And as you can see, his heat map is much different from the one previously. A lot of his touches are in his own half and not much going forward. Yes, it's against better opposition, but we don't want to see Ravel dropping back, and he tends to do this, especially in the tougher games where we are not really possessing the ball a lot. He feels as if he have to come for the ball, come deep and collect the ball, which will be very difficult for him then to now turn and then go forward. You have a lot more ground to cover picking up the ball that deep, because he's not going to make a 30-40 yard run. You know what I mean? And it will be much harder as well to pass that threading eagle, playing so deep. He's not a Pirlo. He does not have that type of vision and that type of skill. So Two extremes, people. We don't want to see Ravel playing too deep, especially in that double pivot. He's pretty much wasted. Yes, we'll have possession deep, but sterile possession, not really exciting, not really penetrating, not really doing much with the ball that deep. One and two flicks and tricks, but he would not impact the game as much playing so deep. Yes, he'll be a connector, but we need him to play much higher. Somebody must can give him the ball. We are much better than that. With somebody in the midfield must can find Ravel higher up the pitch for him to work, turn and do his magic. He does not need to come deep for the ball all the time. I mean, maybe in games where the teams are sitting back in a low block, Ravel will then have the time and space to drop deep and go forward. But in the tougher games where the teams will be pressing, we don't really need that. We don't need Ravel deep. Ravel should be forward. We must be able to break that initial press and find a Ravel Morrison. Too many times we seem lacking in midfield, out of ideas, we don't know what to do. A lot of position, the centre backs having 50 touches. We don't want that. We don't want the centre backs and the goalkeepers to be having 40, 50 touches. Ravel Morrison should be able to come in the half spaces, collect the ball, turn and move forward. Whether drive or make a pass. He does not have to come and take up the ball from the centre back. So don't need Ravel to be that deep. We have defensive midfielders, that's their job to come and take up the ball. So whoever is playing there, the Mason Oldgate, Latibo there, Isaac Hayden, whoever is in that CDM role, they are the ones to come deep, under pressure, collect the ball, make a play. You know what I mean? You don't need Ravel to come do it. That's too much work for Ravel Morrison. So we need Ravel up the pitch. If he's not going to play up the pitch, it doesn't really matter for me. We will not see the best of Ravel. So coach, if you're watching this, if you're hearing this, put Ravel in the 10, please. Demand that he stays up and does not come back deep all the time. We need to supplement Ravel Morrison so he does not have to come deep all the time. Give him his protection behind, two pivots, one a ball playing center mid and another one a destroyer. We need to complement a baller like Ravel Morrison if he should come in the team and make an impact. So that's my view, people. Where would you like to see Ravel play? In the number 10 or in the double pivot deep alongside the CDM? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. I'm ready to go now. Always remember to like, share and subscribe.
All right, this is Alexander Taylor representing for 876 Stream, the official marketing partners for the Jamaica Football Federation, specifically their campaign for the 2026 World Cup. And, subscribe to Edivision TV and go watch him content.